warm welcome to Singapore Polytechnic to all parents, students, and educators. My name is Joseph. I am the Registrar of SP, and I'm here to provide you the following talk. I'll be covering the following today. I'll be providing a short introduction about Singapore Polytechnic, as well as covering admission exercises, the details of the admission exercises to you. Okay, firstly, like other polytechnic, we are an institute of higher learning, providing tertiary level education. That means we are the next steps beyond all the schools in the MOE system. In other words, while many polytechnic graduates do move on to the university for further studies, the diplomas they graduate with do equip them with a qualification to be worked for a specialized field. Your children, upon graduation, can choose to enroll in a university for further education, but they don't have to. They are fully ready for the workplace, equipped with a specific skill, and can choose to work first, gain experience before furthering their studies. This makes polytechnic and university distinct from the schools and JCs. SP has a solid reputation among the international fraternity of Institute of Higher Learning. We are very proud to be part of an international alliance of more than 100 institutes of higher learning, including universities from Canada to New Zealand, Japan to Chile, and this initiative is called the CDIO initiative. In fact, more than being a member of this alliance, one of our staff is also the joint leader of this movement. We have collaborations and exchanges of an equal footing with about 30 universities in the region. Being the oldest polytechnic in Singapore, and we can even proudly say that we are older than most of the other universities in Singapore. We were set up in 1954 by the British. We are even older than Singapore herself. We have an established reputation for producing generations upon generations of graduates who have helped build Singapore to be where we are today. Many of the captains of industries today are alumni. We have graduated more than 200,000 alumni, and present among some of you in this webinar today must be many alumni. And you can all testify to the role SP has played in Singapore's development over our history of 66 years. A little bit of facts and figures about Singapore Polytechnic. We offer 30 full-time diplomas and 15 part-time diplomas. We have approximately 13,000 full-time students, as well as 3,000 part-time students. In total, we have a total of about 1,400 staff. I would like to share the SP education model with you in brief. What you see on the screen is the SP education model. The strategic consideration for the future, the digital revolution has begun, the need to focus on skills and to have the versatility to learn for life are the overarching consideration that guide our education model to prepare our students for such a future. In SP, we place a high premium on caring for the learning of our students. Above everything else, we are in SP because we feel passionately about the education of the young, seeing them as the future of Singapore. We encourage each other to be student-centric in all that we do. We have a strong curriculum framework that forms the foundation of our education model. Beyond just building up skills for our students in these domain areas, we have identified core areas that are just as critical. We have 2 schools providing these institutional programs for students across all the 8 schools. Under this institutional curriculum, students participate in community outreach programs, but with a twist. We also believe in empowering our students to make choices in the form of electives in our curriculum. The student can choose elective or modules for which will deepen his understanding of his discipline. Alternatively, also go for breadth by taking an elective in another discipline. Leveraging on our passionate staff and robust curriculum, SPs focus on applied learning, industry engagement, pedagogical innovation, and a rich campus experience all contribute to a desired education outcome for our students. I would like to introduce you to the 10 different schools in SP. We have 8 schools with enrollments of students. We have the Architecture of the Built Environment, School of Business, School of Chemicals and Life Sciences, School of Computing, School of Electrical and Electronic Engineering, School of Mechanical and Aeronautical Engineering, Media Arts and Design School, and Singapore Maritime Academy. To support these 8 schools with enrollment of students, we also have 2 schools that provide cross-cutting modules and curriculum to the rest of the 8 schools that I've mentioned earlier. They are the School of Mathematics and Science and the School of Life Skills and Communications. I would like to also share with you briefly about the SP academic calendar. We are, unlike secondary school, our academic year operates on a 2-semester basis, running from April to September, and then from October to March. We do have vacation breaks in the months of March, June, September, and December. For parents for families with MOE school-going children, you'll be happy to know that we have intentionally aligned the vacation breaks with the vacation breaks of the MOE schools. There are 5 polytechnics in Singapore, and together we account for more than half of the intake cohort of the entire Singapore population. All in all, about 10% of the cohort actually go through the door of SP. So in that sense, SP plays a key role in molding the future of our nation. We have 8 schools which I've mentioned earlier on, and these 8 schools altogether, they offer a total of 30 full-time diploma programs, as well as 3 common entry programs, what we call CEP in short. The concept of common entry program might not be very, you might not be very familiar with the concept of a common entry program. I would like to share with you an example offered by the School of Business. As you see on the screen, students who enroll into the business CEP, the common entry program, will take a year of common modules with the School of Business before deciding on 4 diplomas which they can opt to go into at the end of their first year. This is opposed to the common route where they apply directly into the 4 distinct diploma as shown below in my slides. So to recap, a common entry program simply defer the time you take to make choices into the diploma itself. In return, SP gives you a year of common program to build your foundation and giving you an extra year to decide before you specialize into the diploma of your choice. Next, I would like to share the different timelines that you might be interested in. If you look at the slide, there are many exercises that you will be, probably I will use the word confused over, but I would like to focus your attention on 2 broad categories of admission exercises. The first broad category, I would call it result-based admission. These are what you see on the screen, known as the Joint Admission Exercise, JAE for short, or the Joint Poly Admission Exercise, JPAE for short. In both exercises, you will need either your O-level results or your ITE results to apply for admission. JAE are for people who are taking O-levels, while JPAE are for our prospective students that are from the Institute of Technical Education, ITE. So in these two exercises, JAE and JPAE, you use your O-level results and your ITE qualification results to apply to enter into SP. The other broad category are what we call the aptitude-based admission exercises. These are the acronym that you will hear over and over again. They are the three acronym called EAE. We name it Early Admission Exercises. So under EAE, essentially it is an aptitude-based admission exercise which does not look at your O-level grades or your ITE GPA for admission. So look at the timeline. The EAE will start pretty soon. It will start in the month of June, and hence I would like to give you a little bit more information about EAE coming up. Now, what really is EAE? It is really a broader measure of criteria other than academic grades that we are looking for. In short, we look for talent, aptitude, and passion. So we are admitting students based on these three criteria. Now, some of the things that I would like to focus on, or rather some of this important information about the EAE exercises for O-level students that I want you to take note of. Firstly, by going through the EAE for O-level students, you are securing a place in the poly in SP before the O-levels itself. That's right, you hear it. You secure a place in poly before you even take your O-levels. However, I would like to also say that this is not a full offer, it is a conditional offer. And what is it premised on? You need to meet the minimum entry requirement of the O-levels as well as for the course. Next, you need to be a Singapore citizen or a permanent resident. If you are an international student, you need to be enrolled in an MOE school. One more important criteria to remember is that you need to be registered to sit for the O-level in 2021, this year. So what do we do to look out for EAE applicants? We look out for students or applicants that display or demonstrate aptitude and passion in the course that they are applying for. So how do we do that? We do that through write-ups. We assess this aptitude and passion through write-ups, portfolios, interviews, and sometimes through an aptitude test. For the early admission exercise, we do have a broader measure of criteria other than academic grades. Broadly, we are looking for talent, aptitude, and passion. For the O-level students that are going for the EAE, these are the important details to take note of. For EAE, you will be able to secure a place in Polytechnic before O-levels. That's right, you'll be able to secure a place even before taking the O-levels exam itself. The only condition you got to look out and be mindful for is that you are registered to sit for O-level in the year 2021. Note that the offer is a conditional offer. It doesn't mean that you are guaranteed a place in SP. You will, however, still need to meet the minimum entry requirements for the O-levels results. You also need to know that you have to be a Singapore citizen and a permanent resident to apply for EAE. If you are an international student, you need to be enrolled in MOE school. Firstly, you will be able to secure a place in SP even before taking your O-level exams. You need to note that you have to be registered for the O-levels in the year 2021. When we offer you a place, that offer is a conditional offer. You will still need to meet the minimum entry requirement based on your O-level results. The EAE will be applicable for all Singaporeans and Singapore permanent residents. If you are an international student, you need to be enrolled in an MOE school. And what do we look out for in you during the EAE exercises? We hope that candidates can demonstrate aptitude and passion through write-ups, portfolio interviews, and aptitude tests. And very important, I will repeat again that applicants are still required to sit for O levels. What about the ITE students? For you, you'll be able to secure a place in SP before your final semester in ITE. You have to complete your final semester in June 2021 to April 2022. Likewise, you'll be given a conditional offer and will have to meet the MER, a minimum GPA of 2.0 or 3.5, depending on which qualification you are currently sitting for. Likewise, we need you to demonstrate aptitude and passion through the write-up, portfolios, interviews, and even an aptitude test. Let me introduce to you a very important website. The URL is eae.polytechnic.edu.sg. This is the website where you will apply to enter SP through the EAE exercise. Importantly, when you go to this website for application, you need to select 3 preferred course choices. You have to submit a 600 characters write-up, and do note that you may be called up for interview subsequently. This is a sample write-up that I will put up to let you have a sense of what we are looking for. This is an applicant that is applying for the diploma in mechatronics and robotics. This is what he wrote. I have a strong interest in this course because I have a huge passion for electronics and aspire to be a robotics engineer. I have been in the robotics club in primary school for 3 years and have participated in various national competitions like WRT, World Robo Tournament, and National Junior Robotics Competition. In his secondary school, he has taken up a STEM elective module and some electronics camp held by SP Engineering and Science Center. In addition, he has programmed an Arduino digital metronome and would like to show it to the panel. So in essence, the applicants would have to, in a very short and concise write-up, convince the course panelists that they are interested and have shown some evidence of interest in the domain area. So this is an example for you to reference on. And here are some tips. You will likely be called up for an interview. So what do you do at the interview? 4 things that I would advise you to do. Firstly, do find out about the course. One of the things that we find in a lot of students is that when they turn up and when we ask them what is the course about, they can only tell us the course name or course title. It is important for you to do some background research on what are the modules that you'll be taking. That will also be an indication of your interest in the domain in that course. Importantly, you might be asked to tell the panelists where would you like to go with this course. So do think about, after taking the diploma, where would you like to go? How would you contribute? What are your aspirations? Which is my third point. Your career aspirations are also an important indicator of your interest in that domain, in that course. And lastly, my last tip, which I think is the most important, should be you must be able to convince the panelists why are you different from the rest? Why should you be chosen from amongst many that are applying for this course through the EAE? So I hope these 4 tips will give you a little bit of guidance in your preparation for the EAE exercise. The following are some important dates for you to take note of. There is application, there is selection, there is offer, acceptance, and withdrawal stages that you have to take note of. And this is an important note for O-level and ITE students. Applicants who accepted EAE offer will not be allowed to participate in JAE or JPAE. In other words, if I may rephrase that last statement, if you have been accepted through the EAE offer, then you will not be allowed to participate in the JEE or JPAE exercise, which is dependent on O-level grades. These are some of the possible outcomes that I would go through with you quickly. So for EAE O-level students, once we give you an offer and you accept the offer, the next thing to do is that you take your O-levels, and as long as you meet the minimum entry requirements, you will be accepted into the course of your choice. And once you meet the MUR, the offer will be confirmed, and you will be expecting an enrollment email from SP. So in the event that you accepted the EAE offer and do not meet the minimum entry requirements, or 26 points, the conditional offer will be revoked. And after the offer is revoked, you will then have to apply through the JAE. There is a third possible outcome, which is when we offer you the conditional offer, you also have the right to reject the conditional offer. And if you should do so, you will have to apply through the JAE, the Joint Admission Exercise. Now, the admission to the Polytechnic is based on academic merit. So besides the early admission exercise, we are now moving on to the joint admission exercise, which is dependent on academic merits. So there will be a booklet, a very important booklet that will be available online. It's called JAE 2022 booklet. We don't have it now, it is not ready. That's why on the screen you only see the JAE booklet, information booklet for the year 2021. For the year 2022, the booklet will be available in October to November 2021. So if you are applying to the polys using the O-level grades, do look out for this JAE 2021 booklet for detailed information on the application process. Important to note that you need to meet the minimum entry requirements for the courses, and you need to compete for a place using the O-level aggregate, what we commonly term it as EL R2B2, which is a combination of subjects. Bonus points will be given for those of us who have excelled in CCAs and have gotten good CCA grades. The bonus points will be given. For example, if you have an A1 and A2 in your CCA, you will be given 2 bonus points. You'll be able to deduct 2 bonus points from your O-level aggregate score. And if you have B3 to C6 for your CCA, you will be able to deduct 1 point. So EL, you heard me say the term EL R2B2 is actually a combination of subjects. EL stands for English language, R2 stands for relevant to subject, and B2 stands for the best 2 subjects. These details will be available in the booklet that will be made available to all of you in October and November 2021. Let me bring you through the enrollment timeline. JAE posting will be out in early February, and the enrollment will begin in middle to late February. Freshman orientation will typically start in the middle of April, and after your orientation in the 3rd week of April, I look forward to welcome you to start off your first academic year with us in SP. Thank you so much for your time listening to my presentation. I look forward to you applying for SP through the EAE as well as the JAE, JPAE exercises. And with that, I thank you for your time again. I look forward to seeing you in campus. Bye.